Good evening, everybody. This is Pastor Troy. I just wanted to send all of the church leaders a quick message about our planned leadership trainings that were scheduled to start 2 Sundays ago. First, I just want to apologize that I didn't reach out to you before. Obviously, there was a lot going on at that time, and I didn't really put together a fallback plan or a secondary plan. And as I was trying to figure out what to do, 2 weeks kind of passed. So I wanted to send you guys a message and just let you know that I haven't forgotten about the commitment that I made to you, and to apologize for not reaching out to you sooner. I do want to let you know, like, I have here a little syllabus. Rats, dropped my pen. For what we were going to do. And our first training was going to be about the church history and mission, because I think that is important for you guys to understand the organization, Christ Memorial Church, that you're going to be leaders in. And because of who the organization is, or the ministry that God has kind of placed on our hearts, how that would then kind of unravel and unfold to you as leaders in the church. Our church has quite the history. As a matter of fact, these are all reprinted news articles of things that we have done in our community. Our church is primarily an outreach church, even if it hasn't looked that way over the last few months or years. For those of you that have been around, that is who our church is. And that was important for me to kind of start off this leadership training for many of you, being that only Mother Jones and Missionary Thomas have been here to actually be familiar with some of that history. Nevertheless, I still wanted to try to give something to you to help, so that we don't waste all of this time, because we're probably going to be in our Stay Home, Stay Safe initiative, from my guess, at least until July. And I don't want to let 2 or 3 more months go by without us kind of doing anything. And since maybe some of us have a little bit of additional time, we can put it to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some adjustments to my handy dandy syllabus here, and try to do a little bit of work today with this video that I'm sending you, and then potentially try to arrange our next leadership training, which is scheduled for April the 19th, and kind of dive a little deeper into the concept of evangelism, which is on my syllabus of things to do. As leaders within the church, you are called to disciple other people, and evangelism and discipleship, to me, are very similar things. Typically, when people hear the word evangelist, they think of somebody that goes around preaching to people, and that's not necessarily the biblical definition, of what evangelism is. It simply means to let your light shine and to let other people know that you are a disciple of Jesus Christ, and that you have relationship with him, and that they can have relationship with him too if they so desire. During this coronavirus, COVID-19, the Rona, whatever you want to call it, during this kind of time where people are at home and not doing what they normally do, they could probably use a little bit of encouragement. Some of you have taken this time to be an encouragement to others. You've reached out, you've called, you've shared positive messages via your social media platforms, etc., etc. And I'm, very grateful to have all of you to be a part of our church and a part of our ministry, and to do things that would be encouraging to people during this difficult time. And so I just wanted to ask for those of you who are doing that to continue doing that, and for those who may not be doing that, to find some way to be an encouragement to either your family, or other members of the church body, or your circle of influence during this time. There's a couple of scriptures that I'd like to read kind of in closing, just to encourage you. The first one comes from the book of 2 Timothy, chapter number 4. I'm going to read verse number 5. And it says, but watch thou in all things, endure afflictions, which is kind of what we're in right now. It's kind of a difficult time, a hardship. It says to endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist, and make full proof of thy ministry. For those of you that took that charge back in February to be leaders in the church, Paul is basically telling his apprentice Timothy, to kind of prove his ministry, to do things that would let people know that they are not only in a relationship with God, but are discipling other individuals. And again, don't be afraid of that word, discipling, evangelist. It doesn't mean necessarily that you got a bunch of people following you around, but it does mean that you are engaging people with your testimony, with your life, with encouraging words, with the scriptures, that they can have a relationship with God too. And so Paul is just kind of saying to Timothy, these are the things that I want you to do and continue to do because I have confidence that you can do them. And that's what I'm asking you guys to do. I'm confident that you guys can endure affliction, that you're able to endure the uncertainty of what's going on right now, that you'll do the work of an evangelist, and that you'll make full proof of your ministry. Another verse that I want to read comes from the book of Galatians, chapter number 6, verse number 2 and 3. It says, or actually just verse number 2, it says, bear ye one another burdens, and so fulfill ye the law of Christ. This does not mean that we have the responsibility of trying to fix everybody's problems, but what it does mean is that we'll be there to assist and support people in their times of need. And certainly everybody has some needs right now, whether it be physical needs, spiritual needs, emotional needs, companionship needs, whatever those needs kind of are. It is our responsibility as believers in the Most High God to try to assist people in any way that we can. So as I mentioned previously, trying to reach out and call folks, see if you can help them with something, if you have something that you can spare or give to those that may be in need, or just making yourself available for whatever God kind of wants you to do. And then the last verse that I'm going to read comes from the book of Colossians. It's chapter number 4, verse number 6. And it says, let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man. And so at this time when there is that kind of uncertainty and people need to hear something, I encourage you just to inquire of God as to what it is he wants you to say when you're going to call somebody or reach out to somebody or be a blessing or a witness to somebody, that it glorifies and magnifies him and plants a seed and makes an opportunity available for them to be receptive to the gospel of Jesus Christ. So with that being said, again, I apologize that I didn't reach out to you guys sooner, but you guys are all in my hearts, and I'm hoping that we can use this time and opportunity to draw closer to one another, to draw others closer to God, and to endure the uncertainty of this time that's going on right now. If you need me, I'm here. I've talked to several of you, maybe not everybody, but I've tried to reach out to each and every one of you, just to let you know that I care and that I love you and that I'm here to support and do whatever I can. And I'm now asking you guys to make yourselves available either to your family, other members of the church, or those that you have influence over. If you have any questions or want to talk further, I'm here. I'm going to try to reach out to all of you guys to make arrangements so that maybe we can do a Zoom meeting or something for April 19th when the next time we're scheduled to be together, so that we can just kind of touch base and make some moves from there. All right. God bless. Have a good night. Talk to you soon. Pastor Troy out.